Good morning and good afternoon. Hopefully, folks are hearing me and able to jump on today. So, um, good morning, right? Good afternoon for those who are on the East Coast or Midwest. I just wanted to hop on here because number one, it's been a minute. I feel like I have not done a live just for myself. If you have been following Fit Chat Chit Chat, I appreciate you. Good morning, Miss Ruby. Listen, doll, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad you were able to hop on. I really just wanted to be able to touch base with this half marathon training. And good morning, Tammy. And answer some questions that came on Instagram. And first and foremost, let me just shout out my haircut. Y'all, I chopped it off Thursday and I am getting used to it. So I guess this is a transformation on a couple levels, not only for my external, but definitely internally. I have been making some changes, and some revelations have been coming up on me through my faith walk. And shout out to my brother Jack and sister Shonda and my church family, Philadelphia Ministries. All those folks have a hand in that, and my amazing husband who has been leading a good and amazing spiritual walk. So thank you all for that. Okay, let's get to the meat of it. Thank you. You cut off the yeah. Listen, I accept that, Miss Ruby. I cut off the listen, girl, you just said a whole word right there. Transformation. Sometimes that takes going and making those more evident steps that people can see. Prophetic act. Yes, watch them do the supernatural. I am and have been. It has been amazing. So, okay. So today I got up and I did a shorter run today. I did 4 miles. For some folks, that may not seem like a short run, but when I normally go out, I'll run anywhere from 6 to 8 miles. There was a time between 2006 and 2013, right at the beginning of 2013, where I would only run, and it would be about 40 miles a week, even when I wasn't training for anything. And usually one of those long runs was anywhere from 10 to 12 or 15 miles before work at 8 a.m. And then I would go to work and do it all over again. But it's been a while. My breathing got rather difficult when we moved here in 2008. So 2013, I decided to cross over into bodybuilding, but I never left running. And that was one thing that my husband and I both really appreciated. And I can tell you one of the biggest things that I appreciate about running is my connection with Christ. Me and him get to talk and chat it up. And so I get a lot of revelation during my run. So it's always made me really feel connected and closer to him. And after my Bible study, I get in my word, I pray, and I hit the pavement. So with that being said, I decided after 4 years to sign up for a half marathon. So I'm going to be doing the Twin Cities in Clovis. I'm excited. I've done the Twin Cities for Fresno at least, I would say at least 3 times. 3 times, one being the ultra marathon. And that was the very first ultra marathon I did. And let me just tell you, I took first place female. That was nothing but the grace of God. I did not expect to do it. I actually was not even going to go out to do it, but my husband really encouraged me. And so I did that. And that was probably in 2009 or 10. And I qualified for Boston during my second marathon, and that was in 2008. I ran in 2008. And so I am starting this training so far out for a half in my normal for a couple of reasons. One is I really want to train for the full marathon. I think I want to challenge myself, and I'm waiting for God to really move and let me know that's what I need to do or could do or want to do. And I'm really walking with him during this whole training. So with that being said, I'm going 14 weeks out with the hope of getting a revelation that I'm going to do the full marathon. And I would know in about a month to 6 weeks if I decide to do the full, and I would still train as if I'm going to do the full. But let's just get to the real deal. Y'all, I know my times are looking good, but let me tell you what God is revealing to me. It is okay to walk sometimes. I walked 2 times on this run, this 4-mile run. I used to never. And not for needing to, I just feel a little bit heavier. I'm probably about 6 pounds up from my last marathon, which was in 2017. And in 2017, I knew I had put on much more muscle mass and probably some fat if we keep it in 100%. So I went after time versus placement. 2015, I actually did place second overall female. And then in 2017, I went after a time of 140 flat. And I ended up coming in 140 and some change. And I told myself I wasn't going to run another half, which the devil is a lie. He doesn't get to put a cap on what God is willing to use me and how I will move. So I rescind that and send that where it belongs to the pits of hell. Anyway, I feel heavier. I walked today and I went after how my body was feeling versus how I was feeling. Take note, athletes. I don't care where you are in your athletic journey, whether you're a walker, whether you run, whether you swim, bike, wherever you are in your journey, you're an athlete. Now, we have some beginner athletes. We have some novice athletes. We have some really super advanced athletes. We have some moderate athletes. Wherever you are, do not go based off your feeling, but listen to your body. And those are very different. And I say that because I did not want to get up this morning. When I did my first IG this morning video and I said what I was going to do, I was not going to give life to saying, I don't want to do this run. I was not going to let that leave my mouth, period. And so even if you don't feel like it, you lack motivation, do not speak that. Do not speak that. Just make a move. So maybe it looks like you walk the first quarter mile. Maybe you only do a mile. That's amazing for some people, is just to put their shoes on. But let me tell you, it takes preparation in everything that you do. Prepare so you can be set up for the best optimal version of yourself. So even though I got on that video, I was not going to give life to something that was based on a feeling. I was not very motivated. And I actually did my best time that I've done in a while. And so there's a lot to be said about moving away from your feelings because they come derived out of a thought. And so we got to take those thoughts captives and really decide, am I going to allow this to speak life or death over me? And so I decided not to speak it. I went out there and I did an amazing time. Now, so on that run, I had to use the restroom and I was just thankful. And I'm not, y'all, we family. I'm going to tell you right now, it was the kind you got to pull over and find a situation. So I went into the local community center and I'm just thank God that they were open and met a beautiful older woman. If I had to guess, she's probably in her 80s because they have a senior walking track and she was the cutest thing ever. And we just talked. And so I just thank God for allowing space for that, and going past what just the physical is. Why would God have me out at this hour? Why is he transforming me in this season? As Miss Ruby said, taking off the old. Why this season? Why now? That's something that me and God are hashing out right now. So I'm just super thankful that I'm getting opportunities to move just outside of the physical, and I'm making the spiritual connection during this whole journey. I'm doing some highlights about it, more for accountability for myself and encouragement for others. I do not want any part of my gift or testimony just to be for myself. That's not what it's for. So I had a lady, AG Fit 007. This woman, she looks great. Yes, ma'am, for a time such as this. she told me when I posted, because I have not ran a half in 4 years. I did a 5K, maybe a couple 5Ks. I do run on my own. I don't post a lot of my workouts, but I do know that they are symbolic of where I'm moving with Christ, whether I'm lifting weights, I'm lifting my faith, whether I'm doing a push-pull exercise. When the enemy's trying to pull, I'm pushing through on God's word. So every part of my workout is symbolic of my spiritual walk. So not all the time it is expressive in a video, but know that I'm doing the work daily. But AG Fit, when I put my IG video out yesterday, she said, I'm excited for you. You got this. You know this. Time to focus, my friend. I was 46 or 47 when I ran my first half marathon, and it was a last minute decision, meaning I had 2 weeks to prepare. I did pretty good for the first time, and proud of you. Go for it. The will is there. And she's absolutely correct. And as much as I am very competitive and I want to compete in this race, I'm totally okay with finishing strong, of course. So I thank her for the shout out. Recently, I have not had a chance to respond to Matt, who asked me, how do you track and analyze your workouts? Written journal, online site. I have a whiteboard in my garage, which is my home gym, and I write down every day what I've done every day. Why do I write it down? It's a note to self of the work that I put in. Number two, I can track and make sure I'm not overtraining certain body parts, especially if I forget what I did 2 days before. When I lift, I like to put at least 3 to 4 days in between. Right now, I'm feeling the heaviness of running, so I'm going to take tomorrow off because I do have 14 weeks to train for a half, unless I decide to do a full. My top body felt heavy today. I told my husband that that's normally not where I feel it. I usually feel the heaviness in my legs, but today I felt the heaviness on my shoulders and my back. And as much as I put masks on, I could have gotten very distracted by the heaviness, but I did the check-in with my body. Was I in pain? No. Was I hurt? No. Was I feeling like I pulled something? No. Then I'm going to move past it. So I dug deep and I asked the Holy Spirit as my helper, my comforter, and my advocate, can you be with me to push on? And let me tell you, I sprinted probably that last part of my workout. I didn't even know I had that in me. So I'd say this to anyone, whether you are on a fitness journey, a faith walk, a spiritual enlightenment, whatever you would like to name it, walking closer with Jesus as I am, I would tell you it's in you. Everything that you need is already in you. If you walk, walk. If you run, run. If you must crawl, crawl. It is already in you. God has put everything in you for this season of your life and to do the work that he has set before you, long before we even knew that we were going to be runners, lifters, whatever it is that you do. And everybody has a gift and a talent, and how you utilize that. Do it by giving God the glory. And that's where I am at. And so I have zero idea where this will end up. Now, the race is November 7th. Whether I'll be doing the full or the half, whether I will be running or walking, whether I will be competing or finishing, regardless of where it is, I'm in it. And I'm going to hold myself accountable to it, not at the expense of it becoming an idol, number one, wholeheartedly. Let's get that very clear right now. Not at the expense of not having my Bible study and getting in my word and praying or being there for someone else. Absolutely not. That is just for me. And so we must be careful, because we can idolize the things that we see or the things that we hear or the expectations that we have for ourselves. And I don't want to do that. I recognize that the 43-year-old me is no longer the 34-year-old me. I definitely feel that in my body, in my thoughts, which is a good thing. And that's okay. So how can 43-year-old Devondria, fit therapist, show up how I'm supposed to? And I will not put myself in a box, just like I won't put my God in a box. And with that being said, what is it that you need to do for yourself today? For some people, it is not running. It is not working out at all. Actually, there are some folks who need to pull back. I used to be one of those folks. I recognize that when I find myself was putting physical fitness over my time with God. But I will tell you, the more I started bringing him into the trainings, bringing him into my workouts, I started being able to do things that I didn't even know I could do. And hopefully one day I'll be able to get on here and share the story, my story, which is not over by any means necessary. It is not over, but part of it has been written, but it is not over. And so I just want to extend that even though this half marathon training, I'm on day 2, y'all. Now, mind you, I've been running probably averaging close to about 60 to 80 miles a month, even before I started this. So do I need to go hard right now? I don't. I am challenging myself on time because prior to accepting, and that was on August 31st, the challenge by signing up for the race, I was running probably about a 9-minute mile, a little over 9, which was good. But I wasn't really pushing myself. It was, and guess what? There is going to be some training days that I'm going to probably fall back to a 9 on some days that I just want a much easier run with longer distance. And there's nothing wrong with that. So for those who take 14 minutes to finish 1 mile, you better go, sis. You better go, bruh. I don't care how you hit the pavement, but you want to be well in your mind, body, and spirit. We are not a fragmented people. That's not how God created us. And so I love the folks who are getting higher education. I love the folks that are in therapy to getting the mental and emotional work in. But where's your spirit lie? What is your physical fitness at? And I say that not in judgment, but I want to make sure that you are looking at every aspect that God created, and he made you in this whole person, even if we have these different parts, but they all must be fed. And so if you are neglecting your body, that's a problem. If you are neglecting your spirit, that's a big problem. If you are neglecting your emotional and mental health, that's a problem as well. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of every aspect of ourselves. So even though I'm feeling a bit heavier, even though I know right now I'm probably about 6 to 8 pounds up from a previous run, I'm not concerned about that. Don't be concerned about the scale for folks who are athletes and want to get out there. I hear a lot of times, I don't want to run because it's too much on my knees. That may be true for you. I'm not here to tell you that that may not be real. So walk, so bike, so swim. There are things that you can do. So with that being said, to answer the questions, I track my workouts on a big whiteboard every day. I'm putting even my off day. So Sunday off, right? Monday, I ran. Tuesday, I have a little bit more flexibility right now because I'm not back fully working in the office just yet. So I can get away with maybe doing an afternoon lift and a morning run. So I may do that today. I am going to lighten up the weights in higher reps just because this is not my priority right now, although I will not stop lifting. But the revelation that God said, it's okay to walk. It's okay to take everything in right now. Don't be hyper-focused on completing, but follow the revelation I'm going to give you on this journey. And guess what? Today was absolutely 100% revelation that this is It may look like it's about the run, but it is not about the run. It may have looked like it was about chopping my hair off, making a new start. It is not that. That's why I claim and accept Miss Ruby in watching the supernatural take place, that the old is gone. I will not put new wine in old wineskins. This is not where we are. And so for those that needed the encouragement today, God bless you, because I do believe that this is for someone else's start, and get connected to your faith walk, to your spirit life. Even if it's by way of workout, sometimes I will go into the gym and absolutely have prayer in the squat rack. Have prayer in the squat rack. Talk to somebody about what God is doing. And when someone asks me, how do I do it? I cannot take ownership of that. It is not about me. It's about what he gives me and allows me to do. So with that being said, I am going to track my half marathon journey, potentially full. But I can tell you, if God says go after the full, I am placing Boston with a 3:40 time. I've already spoke it into existence, because if he put it on my heart to do, I do not believe he's going to let me fall short in that. And if I could just have faith in what I've asked for, it's already done. So with that being said, those who are interested in doing the Twin Cities, you're in the Fresno, Clovis, or Central Valley, and it's easy. It's affordable. Let me tell you, I don't do a lot of driving for races. When I was in South Carolina, I did a race. I did travel to Nashville for my first one. That was pretty exciting. The country music marathon. That was my very first race. The next one was in Kiowa Island, South Carolina. That's where I placed for Boston. I ran Boston 4 months later. So I did travel with that. Who wouldn't travel for Boston? If I place again for Boston, will I do it? I don't know. It's just one of those things I check off. But I will say Twin Cities is an amazing course. I've never ran this new Clovis one. This is new, but the Fresno one was a great course with a little bit of incline, but it was better than Boston. They treat their participants amazing. You get amazing gear. They have an amazing finishers. Finisher circle at the end. They are great. And so if the price just went up, but they have an access to a 10K, a half, or a full. So even for those who just want to do 6 miles to start off, do it. I don't know if they have a 5K, maybe. Check it out. Maybe this is an inspiration for your journey. You're welcome, Tammy. You're welcome, Carla. Blessings to you, ladies. And I would just love to see some of the folks chime in. So if you walked a mile, hit me up on Fit Therapist page. If you have not subscribed to Finding Inner Transformation, look at Fit Therapist, or find me on Instagram at Fit Therapist, and you'll see the link to my YouTube page, where I also host a virtual platform called Fit Chat Chit Chat, which is what you see in the name title, where we talk all things relationship, all things health, mental, spiritual, emotional, relational. And God gets his glory on those platforms, because he then allows those people to share their outlook, their stories, and it creates space for people to share what their experiences are. Hopefully here soon, I'm excited to have a couple ladies to talk about the 75 Hard Challenge. If you have not heard about that, that is a physical, they will tell you it's a mindset change about how you show up in life, but it definitely has a huge physical aspect to it. So hopefully they'll be on next. So I just wanted to touch base to you. The revelation is I'm going in and I'm going for it, and I'm not going to fall short in this. Okay. I'm not going to fall short in this, although I will always, as most of us will fall short in the glory of God, because unfortunately we're human, right? And so there may be some days my motivation is lacking. There may be some days I don't want to necessarily do it, but if you can find a place of discipline where you are going to say, no matter how I'm feeling, I'm going to show up, then I highly recommend that you start writing it down. You follow through and you do the things that are going to be well, not only with your spirit, but with your body and your mind. So thank you all for jumping on. I just thank God for allowing me an opportunity to share space with beautiful people who want to be encouraged, who want to be supported, who want to go further in their spiritual journey, their fitness journey, their mental health journey. I don't sit here and act as though mental health is not real. It is, and we must take care of it. As a licensed therapist, I would be remiss if I did not say that the biggest part of my job is to create space for people to have better mental health. That is a gift that God has allowed me to do. And so prayerfully, that people do not get it mistaken that there's something wrong with going to therapy. There is not. Therapists have therapists, just as doctors have doctors. So for those that preach a good word about not going to therapy, I highly recommend that touch base with the God that you serve, because he has gifted many people that have helped individuals, and we don't know who we will send as a messenger. I totally believe that. So just start your journey, whatever it is. Blessings to you all. Tomorrow, I'm taking off from running. I said this morning I was doing back and biceps, but today will be shoulders this afternoon, because I did a pretty fast run and my legs are feeling it. So I do not want to work another big muscle group. So you have to pay attention. If you're a hybrid athlete like me, you like to run, you like to lift, or you like to CrossFit, or whatever, you do more than one sport, pay attention to how you are working out. If I did back and by, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong if I did legs. But for me, I pay attention to how do I want to exhaust myself today? And when you do big muscle groups, you tend to want to eat more. You need to eat more if you want to keep that muscle mass up. Cardio would not necessarily play a part in that. However, my legs are smoked. So I'm going to use the time this afternoon to stretch, and I'm going to do a smaller muscle group like shoulders. And you got to eat. Let me say that again, because I think sometimes we get the misconception that we're going to work out for hours and then keep a caloric deficit, and then you're exhausted. I've been there, done that. I did not know how to eat properly when I was a distance runner from 2006 to 2013. I know that sounds crazy, but that was my mindset because I did not have a coach. Then I got into bodybuilding and learned how to eat better. Well, now guess what? I'm back running. So I'm going to have to retrain what I'm doing. And so far I've already ate this morning. I'm going to eat again here in about an hour, and 3 hours later, I'm going to eat again. And so keep it up. You got to get those good foods in. If you're trying to lose weight, of course, you need to be in a deficit, but pay attention to how you treat your body. All right, y'all. That is a word from the Fit Therapist. Again, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube page, find it, look at the links. And you know what? I think I need to post it back on my Facebook page, but it is definitely on my Instagram. All right. Love y'all. God bless. Peace.